Hey y'all, I'm back with another Cephalid Breakfast video, and in this video I'm going to be playing a list that is back on 4 Tamiyo. I had been going down to 3, and I know that Larson's list, ELM winning list, only had 2, so I think there's been a little bit of a downtick in the breakfast community and Tamiyos since I was first trying 4 Tamiyos, and people gave that a shot a bit more, but it just feels really strong. Every time I resolve a Tamiyo, this card advantage engine seems to fix a lot of problems. I don't have to, pitch the wrong card to a Force of Will because I have more cards in hand. Or I should say an undesirable card like a Cephalid or something like that. I can save that card, or it's easier to find those lands. It just really smooths the deck out in a nice way while fitting in well, I would say, with the Nadu and Breakfast game plan as another cheap creature. However, I have to say I'm in a really big slump right now. I feel like my my constructed rating on Magic Online is just in complete free fall. I just really cannot get wins to save my life. And I can't really point to anything that's really been the source of that, which is frustrating. I know that's how Magic goes sometimes, but this list that was so strong for me not long ago is now I'm just struggling a lot. So I'm going to try to shake off that slump live in this video for you. And hopefully this league goes better than my last few have been going. I'm on the play in the first map. And hopefully I'll be able to find mana. But I will keep this. So I'll start off with the Ponder. Really just looking for lands. Yeah, that's going to be good enough. So I'll put the Saga on the bottom, followed by Tamiyo, and I'll draw a Tundra. All right, my opponent starts with Verdant Catacombs, fetching, basic swamp. So probably getting Thoughtseize, yep. Well, this hand is not too bad in the face of Thoughtseize, especially because I have that Saga coming soon, which can replace the Nomads, which to me I think would be the take here. Next turn, my opponent will have perfect information because I'm definitely going to slam that Tamiyo. But Force of Will feels pretty good. It's unclear whether this will be a mono black deck or whatever, but definitely I am thankful to have Force of Will. So I'll play the Tamiyo and pass. It'll be nice to hopefully draw some cards off of this. All right, so it is a blue deck and a Ponder, sure. So I will likely have to contend with Daze. So jamming Nadu next turn doesn't seem great. My opponent shuffles off the Ponder. I'll probably just attack with the Tamiyo and plan on drawing the Clue. And I'll likely wait to draw the card, not only to play around Thoughtseize, but if they spend an Orcish Bowmaster, for instance, getting an extra damage off of the Clue, that feels a lot better than them killing my Cephalid Illusionist. So I'll play Urza's Saga and pass. My opponent still has perfect information about my hand. Another Ponder. Right now I'm definitely thinking this is going to be a Reanimator, but we'll see. This will be a very revelatory turn. They shuffle again. Alright, they do have another land, so they are holding up Bowmaster. If they have Entomb Reanimate with a Force of Will, they're going to get it. Looks like my opponent is passing, so the Bowmaster here I wouldn't feel too bad about. We'll go ahead and tap like that and crack the Clue. Swords, okay. I don't hate that, but it's not an amazing draw either. Another Swords. I'll attack with Tamiyo. I do wonder if I should try to get a land drop, but I think it's better to just pass without making a land drop. I'll just say go. And the question will be whether it's better to make a construct or crack the Clue. And I'll see what happens over the course of my opponent's turn and try to make a decision about that. I don't need the construct if the plan is to win with Cephalid Illusionist. If they wasteland, I'll definitely crack Clue. Thoughtseize again. It's unfortunate because if they have a Daze, they could just take Nadu. If they have Entomb Reanimate, they can take Force of Will. So let's see what happens. I definitely don't think forcing this is correct. Uh-oh. Well, they took Force of Will, so what do you want to do, opponent? Lotus Petal. Okay, so maybe a Doomsday deck? LED. Could still be Doomsday, but it's looking sort of stormy. Infernal Tutor. I'll draw my card now. Nope. Alright, well, this looks pretty bad. Siege, they can get Gaia's Will and just do this whole thing over again. Yep, that's fine. I'll let them do it. So they just replay all the artifacts. And then go off. So I don't think there was really anything to do differently this game. They just had it. My hand was just a little too slow. Alright, they're just going to beseech and get a tendrils, so I'm going to concede here. Alright, well, Storm feels pretty favorable. Sadly, I didn't get game 1. Obviously, that would have helped a lot. These are the 8 cards I like. Ghost Vacuum could be good, but I think 3 pieces of Graveyard Hate is enough, and Macabre is just better because sometimes you need to hit multiple cards out of their graveyard. So Swords is the obvious worst card. I'm also going to cut up Plains and the Tamiyos. As you can see, Tamiyo was a little slow there. Obviously, if you can flip it early and like Force of Will something and pick the Force of Will back up, that's great, but there's just no guarantee. All right, I'm on the play. Yeah, this hand is fine. I don't like how I have Thassa's Oracle and Narcomoeba in hand, obviously, but Ponder and Daze is good. Half of my combo is good. So I don't feel too bad about it. My opponent also kept 7. I'd love to see a Force and a land here. Well, yeah. I'll draw the Force of Negation. If I get Thoughtseized, I will Daze. Some action already. Ponder is fine. I will not mess with their cantrips at all. I think the only way you would mess with a cantrip out of a Storm player is if it was like the last card in their hand. Or maybe they have 1 card in hand and it's a Brainstorm and you sense that the other card's dead. Really, I don't think there's any reason to ever hit a cantrip. So they did shuffle. So maybe they were relying pretty hard on that Ponder. Now, I really need to hit something good off of my next draw. So I'm not going to crack that fetch right now. I need to Surveil. I really don't think I'm going to want Memory's Journey, but I don't know, maybe. Maybe Memory's Journey would be good. Let's see what happens this turn. Because I wouldn't rule out drawing Memory's Journey. Thoughtseize. Well, they're going to take Force of Negation. Yep. So, after some thought, I think I will draw the Memory's Journey. Because they don't know about it. That's definitely going to be good enough as Graveyard Hate. And it's definitely a card that interacts with a pretty likely strategy of theirs. Also, the fact that I drew that card that they know that I knew about and passed the turn without making a land drop, I think means it's a sign of strength, right? So now they probably feel like they have to Thoughtseize again. Brainstorm, sure. All right, my opponent appears to be going for it in some capacity. This could just be a Thoughtseize played around Daze. Dark Ritual, okay. Another Dark Ritual, sure. LED, sure. Infernal Tutor, cracking LED, sure. Beseech the Mirror with Bargain, empty hand. Surely this means they're going for Gaia's Will. Now, unfortunately, there's quite a lot of things in their graveyard that they're capable of getting here. So I think I have to cast the Memory's Journey, and I have to target Beseech, and the 2 Infernal Tutors. But they're still going to get to Ponder and Brainstorm. That being said, it's what I have. It's what I have to do. So, let me do that. Fetch a Tundra. Okay, after thinking about it for a bit, I think if I take the 2 Dark Rituals and Lion's Eye Diamond, they don't have the mana to really do much. They'll get to play the Polluted Delta and play the Lotus Petal. But then they could Infernal Tutor for something. And then I think at some point, if there is a line they have, like, it might get stopped by the days. So they Infernal Tutor, they have only 2 mana left. If they Infernal for Dark Ritual, they have 4. They cast the other one back down to 2, up to 5. So I don't know, maybe that actually works out. I think I do just have to take each Infernal, and just force them to hit with their cantrips. I don't love it, but I think that's the line. If they find Tendrils, I'm dead, because Storm is just lethal. Maybe, though, if it comes down to them cantripping and finding like a tutor of some kind, maybe the days will come into play. So, we'll see. Looks like they're going to cantrip first. Yep. If they find Tendrils, I'm dead. They shuffle. They are going to get to Thoughtseize me if there's another turn. But if I do get another turn, if they have to pass turn, I'm going to feel pretty favored from that position. It's going to be pretty hard to rebuild after sinking all their resources into this combo turn. Though it could be quite a while before I can put a win on the stack. We'll have to see. Well, they're playing Dark Ritual. Doesn't really mean anything. Okay, there's the Thoughtseize. I mean, if they found it, then they're going to get it. And they have perfect information, so it's not like I could daze the Thoughtseize. Like, if I daze the Thoughtseize, daze is my only interactive card, so they would just not pay. So, better to let it just resolve. Well, play the Lotus Petal and a Leyline. Okay. Good to know about if we do have a game 3. Awesome. Okay. So, thankfully I have Thassa's Oracle in hand already. Any sort of Force of Will I think would wrap this game up. Third land is okay because I can Surveil off of that, so I'll play out Cephalid. And hopefully the Surveil will reveal a Nomads or a Shuko and I can win next turn. If my opponent does get another Thoughtseize and they Thoughtseize Thassa's Oracle, then that's not a thing I'll be able to do anymore. And they're binning Dark Ritual. I feel like at this stage of the game, I don't know. I just don't know how they're going to recover. Brainstorm's pretty good. And passing the turn, I can Surveil. Get a Meticulous Archive. Sure. Yeah, Nadu's fine. Nadu's a clock. I can also start activating the Cephalid Illusionist for some card advantage. It's also pretty nice that I have the Memory's Journey in my graveyard still. I don't really know if that's going to come up because their Gaia's Will is exile, but I'm just thankful it's there. I could use it as a shuffle effect for myself too. I wonder if my opponent is on a Helm of Obedience, because you can Beseech for Helm, and if they play Leyline, that's pretty good. That would be something that they could get on pretty low resources that could still win here. Like, if they have it in hand right now, I could daze, but that might just buy me one turn. Another Nadu, not great. So I'm just going to attack with Nadu, and I'm going to use the Illusionist to get another card on end step or in response to any important spell that my opponent casts. For what it's worth, if they do not have Helm of Obedience, I think bringing in Leyline was a mistake. But that happens a lot against Cephalid Breakfast as people overreach to stop the graveyard hate, or to stop the graveyard plan. Yeah, Thoughtseize is fine. They'll probably take Daze or possibly Thassa's Oracle. Okay, they took Daze. Alright, is your last card a Helm of Obedience? Infernal Tutor. Do I need to try to counter this? I guess I'll let it resolve. I'll see what they get. Definitely scary, though. Alright, they're passing the turn. Would love to just hit another Force of Will. Alright, well, there you go. That should wrap this one up. If their card is Helm, they would have to top deck a Thoughtseize or something like that. I will play this out. This means that I can Surveil and then activate the Illusionist again in case I need another force or other piece of interaction. So, let's see how this goes. Helm of Obedience. How do I want to sequence this? I'll just force this, pitch an Archamoeba. If their last card's a Flusterstorm, okay. I think when they saw the Force of Will, they probably should have kept this a secret. Like, if they knew that it wasn't going to resolve. Game 3, my opponent's going to have to play fast. They're under 5 minutes on the clock. But, you know, Storm goes pretty fast. For Game 3, I don't really have any changes. Alright, I'm on the draw. Definitely going to keep a hand with Force of Negation and the ability to look for more cards. Maybe Memory's Journey will come up if I get to a turn 2. My opponent's on 6, and one of their cards is Leyline, so definitely have to look out for the Helm. But seeing that they only have 5 cards left in hand, I really like that. Obviously, as a Storm player, you just need a lot of cards. But they're going to get to take my Force of Negation here, so that's pretty good. With only 3 cards left in hand, though, and nothing they can bargain for Helm, that feels okay, though. Like, they could bargain the Leyline, but... Alright, immediately, I draw Force of Will. That's awesome. I'll still ponder. And Nadu. Yeah, that's good. Alright, my opponent appears to just be going land go. And when a Storm player is down to that few cards in hand, and I have a Force of Will, that just feels great. So I'm going to plan to Surveil and probably just cast Nadu next turn. My opponent will Surveil. Now, I think they're capable of winning with the amount of time they have left, but they do need to really pick up their pace of play. Storm is not really a deck you play to spend your entire clock, but you know, it takes a lot of time to think about it, and if you're like a newer player towards Storm, like you really do have to think about those lines quite a lot. It's not as easy as just entombing something and reanimating it. Brainstorm, sure. Brainstorm, no land drops saying go, so I guess they're Brainstorm 1. That stinks. Get Hedge Maze. Another Force of Will is perfect. Seeing as I have 2 Force of Wills, I don't mind tapping out for Nadu, and I like all the cards in my hand, so I don't feel like I need to take advantage of Brainstorm and Flooded Strand. Hopefully I won't get Brainstorm locked, but this feels good. I'll just round out my dual lands with Savannah. So my opponent draws the first card of Brainstorm lock. They are recovering their cards, though. They're up to 5 cards in hand. Playing Lion's Eye Diamond, sure. Dark Ritual. So they're going to beseech, I guess. I mean, yeah. This is fine. Another LED. So that means they can play around Daze, I guess, with beseech. Yeah, this is fine, because even if their last 2 cards are like Thoughtseize, Infernal Tutor, or something like that, Chrome Mox, yeah, sure. So my guess is they don't put anything on this, and then they tap this land and beseeched sacrificing the Chrome Mox, and that's going to get stuffed by Force of Will. All right, Infernal Tutor. I feel fine just Force of Willing this card. And I'll just pitch the Memories Journey. Cool. GG. Well, it's been a long time. It feels like since I started a league with a win, so that feels really good, and we'll see how it goes from here. I'm on the play for match number 2. Well, hopefully I don't get Thoughtseize, like Thoughtseize on this Brainstorm, and then they daze the Brainstorm in response would be pretty devastating, but good lands, 1 piece of interaction, and Brainstorm will hopefully find some spells. I'll keep. So I will start off with a Misty Rainforest. Say go. Ponder from the opponent. Good thing I'm going to get to Brainstorm. And they shuffle. All right, Cephalid was a nice pickup. So I'll play the Flooded Strand. That will allow me to get another basic if basics are important. And hopefully this fixes this hand up. All right, very nice. Okay. So I'll put back Thassa's Oracle. I'll put back Hedge Maze. And I don't know if I really need to play the Nomads now. I really don't know what my opponent is playing, so I'll just pass. I don't want the Nomads to get dazed. All right, so they have a play here at Trop. Hound Seal. Oh my god. Sure. That's really annoying. All right, I'll go ahead and get that Hedge Maze. Well, I wish I kept Thassa's Oracle in hand. Saga seems great. I'll just keep everything in hand. Say go. Opponent fetches a Tundra. Hand it to Fairy. Yeah, that's good. This is going to be a tough game 1 to win, I can already tell. Well, I'll replay Saga. And I'll play out Shuko. Ooh, I'm kind of kicking myself over that Oracle decision, but obviously main deck Ground Seal is not going to be something to play around ever. Hopefully these constructs can kill the Teferi. And the nice thing about Urza Saga into a Beanstalk deck is that you don't have to really cast any spells, but I feel significantly unfavored from this position. Ponder from the opponent. Oracle. That's pretty nice. I'll just play out Cephalid. And I'll fetch a Tundra. And I'll play out the Nomads. Best card in my deck right now is Cavern of Souls. But definitely drawing that Oracle gives me new life. Wrath of the Skies. Oh, that's brutal for 1. I think that's fine though, because I'm gonna get another Juko. I think I'll try to hit a Narcomoeba off of this Nomads. Get a bit of value off of it though. And actually they have they're gonna kill my Saga with the Wrath of the Skies, so I think I just have to go for it. Well, there's the Cavern, so that won't be what I draw, unfortunately. There's a Narcomoeba. Another Narcomoeba. Very nice. So I'm basically just playing to them not having Force of Will. Will it work? Probably not. I bet they have Force of Will, but now if they don't have Force of Will, I will win. And the longer this game goes on, the harder this is going to be. Thankfully, they tapped off of white for this, so I don't think they'll be able to target my Illusionist with anything. Alright, so I can't go any farther. I have to let this resolve. Well, if they just have Swords, they'll win. This looks like what they're doing. Ponder, yeah. And all the Force of Wills are already out of my deck. As are the Dazes. They did shuffle their library, so that is a cause for hope. Play the Flooded Strand. Play Thassa's Oracle. Alright. They can Swords it, but I only have 2 cards left in my library. So I should still win the game here. Awesome. Okay, so they actually really messed up there, because if they targeted my Cephalid with the swords, my library is empty. Like, they just do that on their turn or in my upkeep, so they blew that game for sure. But you know what? I'll take it. All right, so a deck that has main deck ground seal. Feels like a deck where I'm gonna struggle to get this Cephalid combo going. I could bring in the Force of Negations. So I just have to think of, if I'm gonna cut that little package, what am I bringing in? So I definitely like, those two cards are a definite bring in. I don't know if I really like swords. I do like ending. Ground Seal shuts off Ghost Vacuum. They could have Uro as a way to win the game. I think my opponent realizes they missed it. All right, so I think there's 7 cards I'm willing to bring in. So I think what I'll do is I'll cut those. I'll bring in the swords. So I'm leaving 2 Cephalids in so that if I have Thassa's Oracle in hand, I can still win that way. But I'm greatly reducing my exposure to graveyard. Basically, I'm not participating in any sort of graveyard strategy or graveyard hate. All right, this looks like about perfect hand. Wouldn't mind like a force of some kind to stop a Beanstalk, but Tamiyo might just help me keep up on cards. And they ponder turn 1. Would love a Daze. That would be amazing. Force a Will. Great. Definitely will force a Beanstalk. And I'll play a Tamiyo. If they spend next turn just removing Tamiyo, that's also pretty good for me. Saying go. This likely means that I'll get to connect with Tamiyo, so that's really nice. Swords. Remains to be seen how good that card will be, but I will play the Plains and pass. So if they do, for instance, have like an Uro next turn, I can Swords it in response to the ETB triggers. Fetching on end step likely means some sort of, well, no Surveil. Maybe it's just going to Swords it. Elia. Okay. I can Swords that, and I'll do that right now. If they force, I definitely force back. All right. Force pitch Tamiyo. Sweet. Beanstalk's pretty good. Thankfully, I can keep up on carded just a bit. Caracas, that's really good. Okay. Is it worth it to Nadu here? I think I'll crack this clue token. Saga, and I'll just get the Saga going. This means if they have a Wrath of the Skies, they might feel inclined to burn it before they can draw a card with it. Fairy. Well, having Cavern definitely feels quite good. I'll probably play the Saga again and then play the Tamiyo back out just to keep this Caracas tapped down. It's sort of like a Rishadan Fort effect. And I just don't have anything really better to do. If they decide they want to remove Tamiyo and not have to worry about the Caracas, that'd be a huge win. I don't anticipate that's what's going to happen, but could see. All right, they Caracas it back right away. And play Brainstorm. Nomads, okay. Is it worthwhile here to just Nomads and then Nadu? I think it is. So I'll cast Nomads now. And now I'll play the Cavern. And cast Nadu. The game could be over right now. If they have a Swords, then the game will continue. They have a Leyline Binding, then it's really good. Prismatic Ending. Yeah, that's good. I still have a Shuko coming next turn. So that exchange feels okay. Sadly, I don't think I'll be able to make a Construct. Let's see what they do. Swords on Nadu. Yeah, that's good. So I'll get to Surveil. Turn off auto yields. And I'll Surveil. get Archive. Is Pithing Needle in my deck? Pithing Needle is not in my deck. I don't need Hedge Maze. Shuka. Alright, well, I will make Construct. Get a Shuko. I'll hold this Shuko to play around Wrath. And next turn, if they don't have removal, it can kill Teferi. They might also just trade Teferi for a card to get rid of my thing. I do think I'll play the other Saga out. That does get swept up by a Wrath, but I don't think I want to play around that being their last card too heavily. Like, I'm going to have plenty of mana to cast Shuko next turn, but Urza Saga takes a little while to get going, so I feel like I have to play into it a little bit. Hedge Maze. They've been Grafdigger's Cage, but good to know about that. They have the graveyard pretty locked down between Ground Seals and Grafdigger's Cage. So I feel pretty justified in my sideboarding. Sadly, though, if Teferi stays in play, there's so many forces that are just dead cards. So now they're cracking Mystic Sanctuary for Brainstorm. That's fine. I wonder if that means that the other card in hand is not a card they like, because I think getting Ponder would have been better there. Because if they don't get a fetch land, they're just kind of stuck. If their last card was a fetch land, then they just get one of these cards, or really as many as they want. But I think I'm getting Wrathed here. Yep, that's really good for them. Another Cavern. I think I'll just play Flooded Strand and say go. They bounce the Beanstalk. That's a really nice play. Force of Negation, dead draw. I'll just say go. Don't think I've seen a win condition yet from this, so I'm definitely going to play this game out until, like, is Philia their win condition? That's super slow. But they're going to get to draw a card, flipping the Beanstalk. Another land. For that, I'm just going to hold the lands. If I draw a Brainstorm, it'll be nice to put them back. There's Ground Seal. Prismatic Ending. Try to hit their Philia. Oh, yeah, that was really stupid. They just Karakas it back. What am I doing? I should have gone after Teferi. It might have been better to do it with Teferi anyway. So, whoops. Swords. Well, obviously I can't Swords the dog. Well, one nice thing about letting them play it out here, or I'll say two nice things. Number one is they are down on the clock and getting farther down, and they're still several turns away from winning. Clock could matter. But also, I did not appreciate making that mistake on the Karakas, and so some time to, like, calm down from that feels pretty good. Like, I'm definitely mentally checked out from this game and basically conceding it in my mind. Another Force of Negation, great. I should have played a land, but it's fine. Lorien revealed, sure. Oh, my opponent loves doing sorceries with Flash and a Containment Priest, yeah. So it's good to find out this extra information. They also just have 14 cards left in their deck, so I can Swords the Priest. I'm sure they have Force of Will at this point, but it's a play I have access to. And this is an awkward matchup here because obviously Teferi is completely breaking all the counter spells, but I sort of want a lot of counter spells to answer their hate pieces. Swords Containment Priest. Sure. Play out a Tamiyo. Sega. Maybe they Karakas it back. Yeah. I was thinking maybe they would Karakas it back lazily, but then I would just replay the same one. Okay, sure. Well, I'm gonna make them click through. Alright, so game 3, I like these Dazes. I guess I didn't realize I had taken the Dazes out of my deck. I'll go down Force of Negation. No, I want to keep the Cephalid. Just go down 2 Force of Negations for 2 Dazes. I think that's going to be nice on the play. Sure, I'll keep. There's one of those Dazes now. And I'll just start off with the Hedge Maze. Nomads is good. First part of my combo is found. Island Go. Cast Ponder. Those cards are good. I will play out Savannah. And I'll play out Nomads. And the reason I didn't play the Saga there is that I need to hold up days, but I still want to be able to make constructs. Likely next turn I'll play the fetch land as well, because I don't want to draw all 3 of those lands. And then I can actually fetch the Meticulous Archive. Cage. Yeah, Cage is fine. Ponder. I think they're looking for lands. If I had to guess. And I'll get Meticulous Archive, which if I was in paper right now, I knew that was the top card in my deck. I would enjoy just flipping that off the top. Sure, Force of Will. So now I have Force plus days. I'll play the Saga. And I will attack. If they Philia, I have days. They're fetching. It would be awkward if they have a Wrath now with their own Cage in play. Clarion Conqueror. That for now is fine, because I'm about to make constructs, and I can prismatic ending that at my leisure after I have some constructs. Another Nomads. Do I even play out Trop? I will play out Trop just because next turn there's a chance I might make a construct, and if I draw a land, attempt to ending that. I also could hardcast a Force of Will if that feels better than whatever other play I might have access to. It does feel like this person built this deck to specifically hate on Cephalid Breakfast. Brainstorm is fine. I just want to keep any sort of like lock piece, like Teferi or additional card advantage engine off the battlefield for them. Other land. So that means I do have access to that play I was talking about of prismatic ending on Clarion Conqueror. I can't activate Shuko, so that's awkward. I think I'll hold back the Nomads because, well, I think I'll just prismatic ending now so that I can push damage. Force. That's fine. I will push damage. I'll force Ophelia if they have it. I'm ahead on board. I have them dead in 2 turns. I'm just going to make sure that this Force of Will keeps anything from resolving that would prevent that. If this phase was still a Force of Negation, it'd be much better at this phase of the game. They did a good job of not playing into it. It's going to be a Murktide. Definitely going to force Murktide. Pitch the days. Next turn I can hold up Hardcast Force. Sweet. Brainstorm, really good. Solitude. Down to 1 card. I will force that. And that puts them to 3. 2 lethal attackers on board next turn. Let's see what they draw. Uh-oh. This looks like this is a Wrath of the Skies for 0. Yeah, that's good. Still attacking. Flusterstorm is nice. I'll brainstorm now. Oh, terrible. Play another Nomads. I don't know. Flusterstorm was really that nice. Let's see. Solitude hardcast. That's really good. Oh, heartbreaking. Maybe I should have let them just pitch cast that Solitude. Play Nomads. No attacks. Beanstalk is fine. I will have to double block the Solitude. I can't, So Nadu would be a good top deck, though they have Caracas. I just need swords. It pretty much has to be swords to plowshares. Tamiyo. They got me. GG. I'm on the draw for the 3rd match. This hand seems fine. Goblin Molder. All right. Playing against Painter. Well, I was thinking about going Flooded Strand. go in case they have like a blood moon or something like that. But now that I've drawn Tamiyo, that just seems better. And the reason why Flooded Strand would be good there is then I could fetch the plains in response. But what's a good chance if they had a blood moon this turn I could daze it? Okay. That's pretty good. Well, that Pyroblast won't be hitting my Nadu. Rainstorm. I'll cast Brainstorm, sure. I have a shuffle effect. Yeah, this is good. I think it's pretty likely if the Saga pops, they're going to be able to get Graveyard Hate. So I'm going to put back the Cephalids, hold up Swords. And I think no matter what, this needs to get a Savannah Foothills, so there might be some sort of splash. Painter's Servant. Painter's Servant naming blue would be pretty good. Yep. Wonder what's happening now. Another Welder. So I feel like what's going to happen next turn is they are going to Grindstone and mill me. But I do have Memory's Journey in my deck, so that's not really going to work. They don't currently have any artifacts in their graveyard, so these Goblin Welders aren't doing anything. But there's a risk where if I get Savannah here, I may not be able to cast Thassa's Oracle. That being said, since I have Plow and Daze, I think getting Savannah is still good. And then I just don't have to plow the, or I don't have to let the Grindstone Painter combo resolve if I can't cast Oracle. Cast Ponder. That's a shuffle. Cephalid. I could just clear the Painter right now, but I do like the idea of them going for it. And then I can win. I think between the Swords and the Daze, it's pretty likely to work. They would have to have like a Soul Land plus a Pyroblast. I'll go ahead and play the Shuko out. Alternatively, I could just Memory's Journey back any card, play Cephalid, like maybe Memory's Journey's back Cavern of Souls, play Cephalid, and Dread Return back Thassa's Oracle. That would still work even in the event Goblin Engineer. That's pretty good. Because if they have Chaos Defiler, I'm just wrecked here. If they're getting Graveyard Hate, that's good. That was quite a good card for them to have. Yeah, I'll just let it resolve. Soulgun Lantern. And another Painter. I think I will Swords one Goblin Welder. Alright, so they do this now. Hit my Brainstorm. And then I'll just let that resolve. I'd love to see another land. Okay, so I guess I have to... I think I'm pretty done here. I'm just going to start with Nadu. And hope to get something good. Alright, they're going to get me here. Alright, so against Painter, I definitely want all my removal. Graveyard Hate, Needle, Cavern, all good. I don't like Daze. I'll take out one Urza Saga since they're going to have moons. I'll take one Cephalid out. And I'll go down 2 Tamiyo. Ooh, I'm on 61. I'll just take out one more Tamiyo. Alright, on the play. Yeah, I'll keep. Need to find lands. Alright, they have Leyline to start out. Good to know. Shuffle. Alright, found the land. Painter, sure. And in blue, I think while they're tapped out, I'm just gonna get this guy out right away. get basic planes. I'll save the ending, because the ending could get like a pithing needle or something like that. Oh, is this a Karn? Dragon Engine, okay. That's not very good. They might have had like a grindstone. They might have been going for like a turn 2. I like just hanging out the Nadu. City of Traders to me means they don't have a red source. Sure. Well, the Dragon Engine is a pretty fast clock. I have another painter named Blue. I'll play Hedge Maze first. I'll keep Brainstorm. I'll cast Ponder. Vacuum. These are all good cards. I'll play the Vacuum. And I'll see if they Grindstone. If they Grindstone, I might Swords in response to the casting. Take a bit of life here for sure. It's fine. Try to Swords the Dragon Engine. The fact that they didn't go Grindstone there, to me, makes me think I'm going to get another turn. I think it's just too dangerous to leave Painter alive. I'll ending it. I think they're thinking about a Pyroblast. Okay, cool. Next turn I can use the Brainstorm as bait. Let's see if they want to Pyroblast this. Okay. Yeah, that's not bad. I think I'm more likely to have a use for Memory's Journey at this stage of the game than the Oracle. So I'll put back those cards like this, and I'll cast Nadu. They probably will blast it. I don't know if I should force to protect. All right, Nadu resolves. So they don't have a blast. Saga, that's good. I think I could use this Oracle here. So I'll cast Thassa's Oracle. See if I can find a Nomads. All right, there's a Nomads. So I have Force of Will. They presumably do not have Blast. I'm sure Urza Saga is what they drew last turn. And I'll get at least 12 flips off of my Nomads. Force that. Ancient Tomb, okay. Well, my life total is low, but I'm about to draw a ton of cards. Maybe I can even Needle Urza Saga. If I hit that, another Nomads is cool. Let's draw a bunch of cards here. I just have to be aware of decking myself. Now that I've played out Oracle, I will have to win in combat. But I'm glad I did, because that's how I ended up finding Nomads. Finding that other Force is good. Sadly, I can't ending the Leyline. I think that was all the flips there. Okay, so I'll play out this Nomads. Cephalid Swords is really good. I'll attack. And I'll ending the Needle when that comes around. They're not even making constructs. I should have fetched in response to that. They didn't float the mana, and that kind of threw me off. So I should have, yeah. Oops. Well, if their goal was to throw me off, they got it. Okay, they just concede. I think whatever their 2 cards are, plus whatever they get up, was going to have a tough time beating this, but yeah, almost always if people don't make constructs, they float the mana, as y'all probably know. And occasionally that happens. I think I've even done that once or twice intentionally myself to sort of trick the opponent a little bit. All right, so seeing as they have all those ley lines, I'm going to go down one more Cephalid and go up a Consign. And I wonder if it would even be worthwhile to have these cards out of the deck. Bring in Force of Negation. Yeah, I like that. I'll go up one more Tamiyo and only 2 Force of Negation. 7 forces feels a bit much. Sadly, I cannot keep this hand. My opponent is mulling as well. Oh, can't keep this hand. And I can't keep this hand. Which bummer. So what is this, a mold of 4? Guess I'll just do that. I'll just do that. They're definitely going to answer the Tamiyo, so. Ugh, what a nightmare. Sure. I'm just going to scoop to that. That sucks. Alright, I'm on the play for match 4. Yeah, I'll keep this. I don't feel great about it. My opponent's on 7 as well. Another painter. Yeah, that's fine. Fetch a archive here. Force of Will. I just need lands, yeah. Tamiyo. I think I need to play out the Tamiyo, even though it tops me off with swords. I still have Days as interaction. I just need to do whatever I can to get these nomads and the Nadu in play. And whether they pyroblast this or whether it draws cards, it's gonna help. Painter. Yeah, that's fine. In blue. Oh, I really, really needed another land drop there. I'll just say go. Saga. Grindstone. So they activate Grindstone. I swords in response. Other Days. Surprising that they let me draw. Really bricking on lands. And I assume they want to hold up a blast. Doing it now feels really weird. Because now I just swords this. I mill over, sadly, a land. But plenty of cards left in hand for me. I don't understand the timing of my opponent there. Can't let that resolve. Pitch a Days. Another Grindstone. Sure. So they're probably going to get Graveyard Hate. Ponder. Go ahead and cast that now. Oh my god. I please get a land. And Wizard. Makes a construct. If I get a land here, it would feel really good. Okay. They get a pedal. Lost my Tamiyo. That's fine. Can't really do anything with this Tamiyo at this point. I just have to crack the clues I already have, so that feels fine. They don't have anything in their graveyard that's threatening with this welder. If they do have another blast, I can daze it if they try to kill my Nadu, if I draw a land, that is. Okay, a land. That's good. I'm going to go for a Trop because I want to have my green source for Memory's Journey. So I can flash it back. Oops, not a green here. Let's see if they pyroblast right now. Alright, sweet. So I will just daze that. Sweet, they didn't have like a spirit guide in hand or anything. I'll get a basic plains and cast nomads. There's 2 reasons to get basic plains. One is that it would be the worst land left in my deck, and so now if this keeps going, I'm going to have better lands that I hit off of Nadu. But also, they do play Blood Moon, so an opportunity to get it basic is desirable. Okay. I should have the game now with Memory's Journey. Like, if they do manage to get a painter, resolve it, tap Grindstone, Memory's Journey will get the Thassa's Oracle. Well, go painter. See what I can say about that. Force of Will, not great because of Goblin Welder. But if I get a swords, I can swords the welder and then force it. My other basic. I'll brainstorm in response. Put back Dread Return. Just put back the Narco Amoeba. Should be fine. Alright, you have a painter. And a welder. Game should be over here. Hedge Maze. So since I know next turn I can win the game, because they don't have anything relevant in their graveyard, they have Lotus Petal, so if their last card's a blast, they could cast it, but that's not going to do anything. So what I'll do here is top this card, and that'll prevent me from top decking like Dread Return or something like that. And now what I can do is play Cephalid, and then they just concede. But in response, so there's going to be Nadu triggers and mill triggers, and I can mill my entire deck in response to those Nadu triggers to prevent me from drawing cards I don't need. Now, with my mana situation the way it is, I think it's almost impossible to mess up from here, but it still feels good to play correctly. So against Painter, I definitely like these 7 cards to start out. I'll probably do a similar thing to what I did last time. I'm going to assume they have a similar board plan. So I'll take out the Dazes, Dread Return Narcomoeba, 3 Cephalids. I guess this is a little different to what I did last time, but now knowing what they're up, what they likely have, I think this is a good plan. And even if they don't have Leylines, Painter is always a sort of deck. I think I'll go for Consign though instead of Force of Negation. Painter is always the sort of deck that has a lot of graveyard hate. All right, this hand seems fine. Dies to a Blood Moon pretty hard, but I'm not going to mulligan a solid hand. Welder, sure. Okay. So, interesting decision here of whether to go Vacuum or hold up Swords. I think the answer is hold up Swords, because Swords can kill the Welder if they have an Engineer, and if they have Magus of the Moon, which is the thing that would be the most devastating. So, next turn I can go Saga, play out Vacuum. Now if they just have Blood Moon, okay, so see they had Magus of the Moon. I'll float a white. Swords. So thankfully it wasn't Blood Moon, but the Nightmare scenario was avoided by a thoughtful play. Alright, well now it gets tricky, and I don't really have much to say. So I'm just gonna do my thing. I'm not gonna bluff anything. Hopefully they don't have another one. Blast on Tamiyo, that's fine. Fable, that's good. Okay, great. I think while they're tapped out, Nadu is the play. And then next turn I can get Shuko. I can do my thing. Of course, if they don't have the answer to Nadu, they get 3 total looks for that card this turn with their draw step. And they did discard 2 cards. Plenty of mana for the opponent. Engineer. Okay, that's fine. They get Dragon Engine. I think if they attack with the Shaman, I let it go. I don't want their last card to be a Lightning Bolt. Ooh, Top Deck Needle was really good. Because I was thinking how nice it would be to get that off of the Urza Saga. But obviously, I need to get Shuko. Start equipping this. That's Oracle in hand. Another land is good. Another land. A little too many lands now. Okay, so I think I just needle Goblin Welder. And then, because the Welder is stronger once it's on the battlefield with stuff in the graveyard than Engineer is. So I think I play Saga out. This also means I can possibly just get rid of the Dragon Engine now. I'm going to go to combat and contemplate that. I could also play out Thassa's Oracle and get more triggers. Or I can hold up Memory's Journey. I sort of like the idea of holding up Memory's Journey so that if they do, say, unearth the Dragon Engine, which they have the mana to do, and they'll have the mana to do this in response, then I can just Memory's Journey it away. That plan also means they have to draw another card. Probably doesn't really matter. I'm pretty covered against Painter Grindstone. Yeah, I'll just say go. I should have equipped the Shuko to the construct, but pretty unlikely to matter. Now this reflection will make things interesting. If I continue to brick, grindstone is fine. Their last card is painter. It's a little scary, but still fine. Simian Spirit Guide. Okay, so they're unearthing Dragon Engine. So I'm going to exile it in response. Now, maybe I could have done this backwards, but I don't want them to have the information. Okay, so now I will fetch a basic plains, basic island, memory's journey back. Those 2 cards. I'll let them, and I'll do Ancient Tomb as well, because they won't want to draw that card. Alright, that should be the game. I'll feel especially good if I can. Alright, so here they're Hellbent, so this is a free blot. If I can get rid of the reflection, that would be great, but because of the flashback on Memory's Journey, I still have 2 bits of graveyard against the engineer next turn, and they will be able to do 2 activations if they use their reflection. I could have gotten a hedge maze there, I guess. Okay. Prismatic Ending, great top deck. Force of Will. Yeah, this one should be pretty wrapped up. Swords. Now that they've seen the swords, they probably see the writing on the wall. Yeah, GG. Right, I'm on the draw in the last round against an 81 card Yorion deck. This player, I've played against them a lot. They're usually on some sort of like Esper list. This hand seems perfect. I have to confess, this sounds really lazy, but trying to play for a 3-2 against like a blue Yorion deck sounds like a big pain. I would have loved like Oops All Spells or some combo deck that is pretty brainless. But here we are. I'll have to put in some mental effort to get some play points back. Alright, I'm going to start on the Tundra. If I have to brainstorm in response to a Thoughtseize or some sort of emergency situation, I would still like to be able to shuffle away Thassa's Oracle, for instance. So I think that feels good. Opponent threw away their Flooded Strand, so they must be good on lands. Lavinia. Yeah, I'm not going to brainstorm in response to Lavinia, especially when I have Nomads and Nadu in hand. Alright, I'll play the land out first, because I don't want them to be tempted to daze the brainstorm. I have cards I want to get rid of. So I can Swords this and then have access to Force of Will. So Thassa's Oracle definitely goes back. And then I think I like having 2 Nadu. I think I'd rather have 2 Nadu than 2 Brainstorm. And I think I'm going to respect the possibility that this Lavinia could be used to protect some sort of 3-drop. So being able to Swords Lavinia and then Force of Will could be good. That also means that I get to draw more cards before I use the cantrips, so that feels like a nice, efficient play. Meddling Mage. I'll fetch in response and Swords this. I don't think I need to force Meddling Mage. Yeah, that feels bad. Let's see if they name correctly. I think they were playing it out and likely going to name Swords to Plowshares, so let's see. They might know what I'm up to. They might name Nadu. That'd be pretty good. But I just can't force a Will a 2-2. Like, if they name Nadu, then I have a pitch card to force a Will, and I can dig for Cephalid Illusionist, and now that Lavinia's gone, that's fine. They name Cephalid. So, like, I'm guessing this is a Thoughtseize deck. Alright, having drawn that, it's Nadu time. I'll get a Trop, round out the duels. Hopefully they don't have days. Okay, Nadu resolves. That's really good. If they swords, I probably let it go, especially if it hits a land. Lavinia. Do I force Lavinia? I think I'll let Lavinia go because the worst thing this does is it makes me unable to do my Dread Return combo, but I can't even cast Cephalid Illusionist until I get rid of Meddling Mage. I think they're likely to Swords Nadu after this, but I can always brainstorm away my Force of Will. Could also be a Fatal Push, Stoneforge, okay. Maybe for Ages. Alright, they get Cauldron. Well, if they have Force Blue card, they got me. Fetch land. Let's brainstorm first. Okay. So I'm gonna put back Nadu and Windswept Heat. When you cast Nomads, if their last two cards are Force Blue card, I Swords Lavinia, Force something. This game should be pretty wrapped up here. Here we go. That sticks. Do I want the third Nadu or should I crack this? I think I don't want the third Nadu. That's a lot of Nadus. I'll get a Surveil. I'll get Hedge Maze. Saga seems good. And then likely what'll happen is I can Swords the Cauldron. I'll Ponder. I'll see if I can keep this going. There's that Cephalid I can't cast. That's still good though. I'll keep it. Pitch it to Force of Will. So I guess Swords will have to hit Lavinia. Or I could just Swords Meddling Mage, but then I also have to get rid of Lavinia in order to win. A lot of things to keep in mind here between those two hate pieces. But I do think I can race a Cauldron complete from 17 life. Maybe I shouldn't have swung, because now they can swing out. I don't know. If I lose this game, it's going to feel pretty pathetic. Importantly now, though, I can cast Force of Will, like hard cast it with the number of lands. I technically can cast Dread Return, but it would be counter. Solitude. Let me draw some cards first. So they have one unknown card and a Cauldron complete. Okay. Swords both of these and win next turn seems good. Force this. Swords Lavinia. Force Pitch Ponder. Now that I can cast Illusionist. Umazawa's sure. Hopefully they equip it to Meddling Mage. Oh, sweet. Swords Meddling Mage. They should have equipped it to Stoneforge, because Meddling Mage is what I wanted to remove anyway. Alright, so they have a Cauldron in hand, and this game should be over. So I'll play Cephalid, and then in response to the Nadu triggers, I just mill my whole deck. So that's the exact same play I was talking about in a previous round. Just because I don't want to, say, draw Dread Return and Narcomoeba or something. But again, this is a situation where I feel incredibly ahead. So, it'd be really hard to mess up. Alright, against some sort of Stone Blade, I like Removal, I like Cavern. Flusterstorm is probably going to be good. And possibly Pithing Needle. I could hit like a Jite. I'm gonna have to watch out for Jite. I don't think Consigned to Memory is good enough. It hits ETBs, but that's not great. Against a deck like this on the draw, I definitely don't like Daze. And then I have more cuts that I need. Seems like the sort of thing that they're going to have stuff prepared for the graveyard, so trimming a Cephalid seems fine. Maybe going down 2 Force of Wills. I don't know if they have any sort of Wasteland or anything like that. I will just trim a Ponder. Alright, Pretty unexciting hand, but lands, force of will, removal, it's a keep. And them not having a play gives me an opportunity to stick. I'll play an untapped land so that I have access to Flusterstorm. If they Thoughtseize me, I would like to fluster it. Again, no play. I wonder if they have Orcish Bowmasters. Seems quite likely. Needle, no. Hope I don't regret that, but I'll play Meticulous Archive. Nadu, excellent. I think if they end step a Bowmaster here, they're going to live to regret it. I'll let it resolve. If they have a Philia on end step, I will probably counter it. Okay, they just have a Brainstorm. I definitely think they want to hold back their Bowmaster if they have it. It's cracking a fetch land. Could be like Stoneforge. Lavinia. I'll just plan on Prismatic ending that. If they force, I fluster. I still think I have to hold up Flusterstorm. I'm sure they have some answer to a Nomads. So I think some sort of land, particularly Cavern of Souls, would be probably the best draw that I have left for next turn. 4 untapped lands and passing. Brainstorm. I'll Brainstorm. If they Bowmaster, it'll be an interesting decision about whether to force it or not. Okay, no Bowmaster. And I think now I put back Oracle. I don't want that many lands. I'll keep the Oracle and just put back these cards. Play this. I'll cast the Ponder. Is this like an opposition agent? I'll force that. I pitch Thassa's Oracle. I'm not too worried about getting rid of this agent here with the Flusterstorm in hand. It sucks because I don't even care that much about it. Do I care at all about it? I mean, I could just let them get a land, and then I can hold up Force and Fluster. But then next turn I have to Nadu. I think it's worth it to try to force. I'll just pitch the Oracle. I really hope they force to fight over it. No. I'll just get a basic. Like they could feasibly have some sort of non-basic hate. Okay, I like playing Shuko out. I don't think I'll do anything to protect it. Like I won't cast Flusterstorm. I just hope they have Prismatic ending. Strix, sure. That's pretty good because now if they have Force, I will draw the Brainstorm. I'll crack this. I'll get Savannah. And attempt to cast a Nadu. If they force a Fluster, March of Otherworldly Light on this. So they probably don't have Force. They could still have Swords, so yeah, I'll Fluster this. Give me a couple cards. And this is a 2-for-1 for them. Like, so much worse than just having the Force for the Nadu. And I could still get a Force of Will off of a trigger. Oh man, another one. Sure. All right. I wonder what your last card in your draw step will get you. Strix, yeah. That one's pretty good. I don't have Flusterstorm anymore. One last card in hand. 2 cards in hand. All right. And attacking with the Strix. No blocks. Cavern of Souls. Yeah, good. Cavern name Core. And I'll cast this. Should be the game right there. I don't have Oracle, though, in my deck, so I will have to beat them down. But I'm going to have plenty of cards to do it. Tamiyo. I'll probably flip Tamiyo right away. Cephalid. Kind of awkward. Let's flip Tamiyo. More swords is great. I've already played my land, so I'll put the Saga on top so that it comes into play next turn. Swords this. For 3. Even though I don't have Oracle, this should be the match. Rainstorm, sure. Recruiter of the Guard, likely getting something like a Solitude. I'll see if I can force this. But I know the top 2 cards. I don't think I'm going to Brainstorm, so I'll let them get their Recruiter. Meddling Mage. And they even play Cavernous Souls. They might name Swords. Swords is like the only thing I'm really concerned about. Because presumably their last card is Yorion, right? They didn't pitch that. Yeah. So I just want to get rid of these ETBs. If they don't name Swords, I can minus the Tamiyo and get Swords. Chosen card is Cephalid Illusionist. Well, they have not accounted for the fact that my Thassa's Oracle is gone. I will attack with just Nadu. Though I probably could push damage by seeing if I get a Shuko. So this is on human. So if Yorion's the last card, I can still force it. So I will play out my own uncounterable card. Oh, that's on core. I'll play out my own counterable card. Excuse me. And I'll get a Force of Will. And try to hit a couple more cards. Dread Return, great. Another Nadu. I'm just gonna stop here. I don't want to deck myself, and my hand is really good. So I'll discard Dread Return and Cephalid. No play. I'll make a construct. Make another construct. Shuko is my only option. I'll plus the Tamiyo. I'll equip 2 Nomads in core. Get another Tamiyo. Attack with all of these. My clue will buff the construct. No blocks. They go to 5. I'll play out Nomads and Narcomoeba. It's rough if they have some sort of Wrath, but I don't know. I have 7 cards to pick up the pieces. Really only Supreme Verdict, I think, would get me here. I don't know if that's a card they play. Swords Nadu. Do I even care? No, I don't. Because I think they're dead on board anyway. So if I had forced that and then let's say they had Wrath of the Skies or something like that, that'd be rough. Now, I don't know why they would do that, except to bait the Force of Will, which they know I have, so that would be a good play. But if you don't need to Force of Will something, it's pretty good to not Force of Will that thing. I'll just swing out here. Solitude. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If their last card is Days, I can just afford to pitch cast it and not click more than I have to. Going to discard anyway. All right, GG. So, that league was just okay. But the losses were both, 1-2 losses that felt close. It's possible that game 3 versus Painter, where I just mulled to 4 and died to a Blood Moon, it's possible maybe one of those hands with no blue mana could have been keepable, but it felt worth it to keep going. And then on the mold 5, there were no lands, and this is how it goes sometimes. The breakfast mana is pretty rough. And then this 1-2, now this one didn't feel great because they won both sideboard games and they punted game 1. That Bant deck, though, felt really tailor-made to beat a deck like Breakfast, so I can't hate that I lost that. though it felt like maybe if a couple decisions had been made differently, like where I pointed that force of will at the end of game 3, if I had maybe just been a little more patient and let that Pitchcast Solitude, swords one of my constructs, that would have been better than letting the Wrath resolve. So that one maybe could have gone the other way. Against Storm, it was nice to pick up both sideboard games. I do feel pretty favored post-sideboard, but a lot of times, if you lose game 1, then the pressure's on, so that felt good. The deck really does feel quite strong. I have no reason at this time, for me personally, to second guess the 4 Tamiyo. I don't feel like there's anything I'm really missing. I know people are main decking Ghost Vacuum, and I tried that a bit. But whenever you're not against Reanimator, it just feels bad. And I don't know, I'm not a big fan of one of cards for one matchup, and hopefully the stars align and you have it. Maybe if I was playing a super competitive event where you could bet a lot of people are going to be on Dimir Reanimator, especially online, I could see that. But this list has felt good, and I'll definitely be continuing with something pretty similar to this. Yeah, thanks for watching.